You meet someone new. Within minutes, they seem confident, charismatic, impressive. They talk smoothly. They know how to command attention. They may even make you feel special. And yet, something feels slightly off. The truth is, you cannot diagnose narcissistic personality disorder in 10 minutes. That requires clinical evaluation. But you can notice patterns of narcissistic traits very quickly if you know what to look for. The key is not what they say. It's how they position themselves in relation to others. Let's break it down. First, excessive self-focus disguised as confidence. In the first 10 minutes, notice conversational balance. Do they dominate the conversation? Do they redirect topics back to themselves? Even when you share something personal, do they quickly shift it to a bigger story about them? Healthy confidence includes curiosity. Narcissistic traits often show as performative confidence, talking to impress, not to connect. Second, rapid idealization. This one surprises people. A person with strong narcissistic traits may praise you excessively very early. They might say things like, "You're different from everyone else," or "I feel like we have such a special connection," within minutes. It feels flattering, but psychologically, this is often a projection mechanism. They're not seeing you clearly. They're attaching an ideal image onto you that fits their emotional needs. And what's idealized quickly can be devalued just as quickly. Third, subtle superiority cues. Listen carefully to how they describe others. Do they subtly put people down? Ex-partners are always crazy. Friends are jealous. Colleagues are incompetent. Narcissistic patterns often include externalizing blame. Nothing is their fault. It may be disguised as humor or sarcasm, but there's often a quiet thread of superiority. Fourth, lack of reciprocal empathy. In 10 minutes, you may not see dramatic cruelty, but you can notice micro-signals. When you express something vulnerable, do they respond with curiosity and emotional depth? Or do they offer shallow responses before redirecting attention? Empathy requires slowing down and entering someone else's emotional experience. Narcissistic traits often prioritize maintaining self-image over emotional attunement. Fifth, image management. Watch how they talk about achievements. Emphasize status, money, connections. There's nothing wrong with being proud, but narcissistic tendencies often revolve around validation regulation. Their sense of worth depends heavily on external admiration, so the conversation becomes a performance. Now here's something important. Not every confident, talkative, or ambitious person is narcissistic. The difference lies in flexibility. Healthy individuals can admit mistakes, share space, show genuine curiosity, display emotional nuance. Strong narcissistic traits show rigidity. The self-image must be protected at all costs. Let's go deeper psychologically. Narcissism is not just arrogance. It's often built on fragile self-esteem. Underneath the grandiosity is a hypersensitivity to shame. That's why conversations feel subtly imbalanced. They are unconsciously scanning for admiration, status reinforcement, or ego safety. If challenged, they may become defensive, shift blame, downplay, or subtly compete, and this can appear very quickly, sometimes within the first 10 minutes. Here's the part most people miss. The strongest signal is not their behavior, but your internal reaction. Do you feel slightly small, slightly pressured to impress, slightly unseen? Your nervous system often registers imbalance before your logic does. That uneasy feeling is data. Now let's be mature about this. You cannot conclude someone is a narcissist from one conversation, but you can observe patterns over time. Early signs are indicators, not verdicts. The goal isn't to label. It's to stay aware. If you notice consistent, self-centered conversation, lack of accountability, superiority framing, image obsession, low empathy, then proceed cautiously. Psychology isn't about paranoia, it's about pattern recognition. And here's the final insight. People with narcissistic traits are not villains in a cartoon. Many develop these defenses to protect against deep insecurity or early emotional wounds. Understanding this doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior. It means recognizing dynamics clearly instead of being hypnotized by charm. Observe empathy. Observe accountability. Observe how you feel. 10 minutes is not enough for diagnosis, but it's often enough to notice a pattern. And awareness is always your strongest protection.